Me shooting the suppressed rifle, I still had hearing protection on. It will still cause hearing loss even with the hearing protection on. It just mitigates it, or even with the suppressor on, it just mitigates it by quite a bit. So we're looking at suppressors. We're getting suppressors to mitigate not just the deputies who are regularly training with these firearms and being exposed to these impulse noises, but also the community, right? Should we deploy a rifle in a house and, you know, there may be bystanders in that same room, whatever, or in a vehicle or something along those lines? Every single person in that vicinity is going to be exposed to immediate and irreparable hearing loss. So there's a liability component to that too. If you look into why a lot of agencies, so suppressors are all over in law enforcement now. If you look into a lot of agencies, I think it's City of Spokane maybe, they actually referenced a lawsuit when a deputy deployed a patrol rifle to stop a threat, and bystanders who were not involved with the incident, just happened to be in the area, were exposed to that gunshot. They actually sued and won, and Spokane had to, or I think it was Spokane, had to pay out a ton of money to them because of this hearing loss. So there's a liability component to it as well. So interestingly, OSHA has done a lot of studies on firearms instructors, whether it be in the military or in the law enforcement world, or even just on civilian ranges, and they've consistently found that suppressors should be used. Now, suppressors, again, were really niche items. There's the unknown of them, right? The assumption that people think it's for assassins or special operations or something. And so a lot of agencies didn't do it for years. They ignored OSHA recommendations. Where else in law enforcement do we say, oh, well, this OSHA recommended we do this, but we're not going to do that, right? Well, in this instance, law enforcement did for a long time. Now, like I said, agencies all over. Hoquiam issues suppressors on their patrol rifles. That's the first one locally that comes to mind. Like I said, Spokane City, Spokane County. It's all over because now that suppressors are becoming more prevalent in the civilian world, just due to the factors I mentioned earlier. People are becoming less less uninformed about them, becoming more generally informed because they're becoming more common. So law enforcement is feeling more comfortable adopting them, right? We just have to explain that to a lot of people. So anyway, if you're curious, I jammed the numbers. OSHA has a little calculator. If you go to, I have it in my references slide here. They have a little calculator, and I jammed the numbers, and I have the best hearing protection that money can buy right now because I have such severe hearing loss from the military. I'm actually on the 27th or 29th. I'm going and getting fitted for hearing aids, and I'm 30 years old. Most of my friends have hearing aids and have had them for years. So it's, you know, I don't wish this on anyone. Hearing loss sucks. It does. We joke about it all the time at the range, like, huh? What'd you say? But it does. It sucks. It's a permanent injury that we can't. You can never be fixed, right? You can get hearing aids and mitigate the issue, but they can never fix it. So anyway, I jammed the numbers because I have these super expensive hearing protection that my doctor told me I needed to get, and it is literally the best ones on the market. It's a combination of in-ears and over-ear muffs, and jamming all the numbers, doing all the noise reduction ratings and all that stuff, entered it onto OSHA's calculator, and according to them, I'm supposed to be, even with my hearing protection on, I'm supposed to be exposed to no more than 79 gunshots a day. So if I am exposed to more than 79 of those impulse noises a day, I will not wake up the next day with the same hearing I had before. It will continually degrade. Alright? That's assuming we're shooting unsuppressed firearms, even with dual ear pro. Right? Now if you think about it, how many rounds is that pistol qualification? It's 50 rounds. How many rounds is that rifle qualification? It's 30 rounds. So I guess, I mean, one option is I just qualify one person a day and I no longer patrol or do any police work, and I just qualify one person a day for a couple months until the whole county's qualified, and then I can go back to working. Or we can start looking at some of the common sense OSHA recommended hearing protection options. And so that was my rant on suppressors. I think it's, you know, like I said, I personally deal with hearing loss on the daily. I don't like it. It sucks. And so I don't want anyone else to have to deal with it if they don't have to. So That's why we're getting suppressors. All right. That's all I got for you guys as far as that goes. If you want to take a look on this table, you guys can come up and look if you want. We have a couple different of our patrol rifles that we currently issue out. We have one of my rifles, which is very similar to the one we're going to, the SIG. And then we actually have 2 rifles on this table who were taken from people in the last year or 2 who either committed homicidal acts of violence or threatened to commit homicidal acts of violence. And what's pretty wild about it is you can just look at them, and I can put them out, you can look at them, and they're actually in better condition than our rifles, like far better condition. And so I just thought it was interesting. If you guys want to take a look, you can. But other than that, I'm all yours for questions if you have anything.
So the Army rifles you have, you said that they recommend a 25-year lifespan.
Yep.
What does SIG have as far as?
They do not have a doc. So once that's from the Army spec. Like the manufacturer isn't going to say these have to be replaced after X amount of time. It's the Army that determines that. And because they're still currently fielding these, they don't have a, not that I was able to find at least, they don't have a recommendation yet.
So there was a couple of things that I'd like to emphasize before free questions and all of that. So on one, we're going through and we're combing through our policies one section at a time. We started with the firearms policy for a few reasons. So first off, the pistol and the rifle are primary and secondary tools of the trade. It is of utmost importance that everybody who has to carry or someday deploy one of these in the line of duty know how they function, know how to operate them, know how to get them back up and functioning if they should go down, and be able to accurately do so. That's a fundamental responsibility to the people. It's of utmost importance. In the team that we currently have on board, we just so happen to have a whole bunch of veterans, and it's not that we're trying to militarize anything, it's that we all have the experience of why this is important. So all legalities aside, and heaven forbid, and I pray that they never have to, if any of them ever have to pull that trigger, they're responsible for every single round that flies through the air, regardless of what it hits, regardless of intent, regardless of I didn't mean to or I did mean to. Doesn't matter. So one day they will have to answer to whomever they feel their creator is. That's a serious deal. So so that's one of the reasons why we started with the firearms policy. That being said, the focus on the small changes are to make everybody better. It's not to try and fire anyone. It's to identify failures and then get them the training they need to make them as good as possible. So training to failure is an important concept. And if you don't train to your failure, you can never get better. You will always stay stagnant. And like he had said, well, this is the way we've always done it. That's kind of a toxic mindset. If the way we've always done it cuts the mustard, then okay, we can keep things like that. But this one didn't, and so that's why we're forging forward to make everybody better. And then there's 2 things that guide all of the decisions that we make here in the Sheriff's Office, and that is, does this make us most effective? Will this make us more effective? And does this serve the people? So in this aspect, with training and equipment, this makes us more effective. And serving the people, well, should ever anyone need to deploy one of these, it'll serve the people for the purpose that we need at that time. So I just wanted to touch on those items, that this isn't willy-nilly. It's not nothing is off-the-cuff decision, and these are solutions that many minds were brought together to make, and so it's for those reasons that we did that, and I'm grateful that you guys showed up to listen to us. So thank you.